Namaste. In this part 5 session of the confusion matrix metrics, we will discuss when to use precision recall measures and when it is best to avoid them. Now, precision and recall, they come from information retrieval. So, for example, imagine this is a search engine and I have only 100 documents in my entire internet, out of which only 25 contain the results for the F1 score. So, when we search for F1 score on the internet, and imagine an algorithm gives us back 30 results, out of which only 15 contain the relevant results. So, out of the 30, only half of them contain the results for F1 score, and the remaining 15 results, maybe they contain results for the Formula 1 racing score and the rankings of the different drivers. So maybe that is an irrelevant result, right? Now we can capture this information in a confusion matrix, where on one axis I have the relevant axis and on the other I have the retrieved axis. So now, is the result relevant and was it retrieved? If both the answers are yes, then that is a wow condition, because the search engine is giving you the result that you want. Now, if the result is relevant but the algorithm has not retrieved it for you, then that is the condition of why, what, so few results, then that would come to your mind first, right? Why so few results? The third case is if the search result is not relevant but it is retrieved to you, like in the case of a Formula 1 racing score or rankings returned to us, that is a lol, what condition. And the fourth is the I don't care condition, and that is when the result is not relevant to us and that is also not retrieved to us. Precision is the ratio of the retrieved relevant results and the total retrieved results. Like in the formula we see, it is precision has a true positive. So true positive means the retrieved relevant results, right? And the number of false positive is the number of retrieved results that were not relevant. So this is the lol what condition. Since I have 15 relevant results returned to me, my true positives are 15, and since I have 30 retrieved results, my precision now becomes 15 by 30 or 0.5 or 50%. Now recall is the ratio of the retrieved relevant results and all the relevant results. So how many retrieved relevant results were with me? Well, I had 15 relevant results. And how many total relevant results were in my database? Around 25 relevant results, and hence my recall becomes 15 upon 25, which is 60% or 0.6. So this is how we can define precision and recall for information retrieval. Now, one thing we notice is that precision and recall don't particularly care about the true negatives, right? That is the results that were not useful for the user. So precision and recall do not take the true negatives into account, and consequently even the F1 score or the F measures do not take the true negatives into account, because the F measures are based upon precision and recall. But imagine in our case, the bank has decided to offer extra perks to everyone who is predicted to leave the bank, to possibly try and convince them to stay. So what I'm talking about is this churn modeling dataset, where the positive is indicating that the customer left the bank and negative is indicating that the customer did not leave the bank. Okay, so now our mission should be to try and correctly predict every single positive person, right? Because if we improve the number of true positives, then we would be correctly predicting many people who are actually going to leave, and the bank can then concentrate on these people and possibly try to convince them to stay. Now, when we say that we want to increase the correct predictions, we are basically trying to increase the recall value by minimizing the number of false negatives, right? So if we minimize the number of falsely negative, then that would mean we are correctly predicting many true people to actually be of the true class. And hence, if we reduce the number of false negatives, our recall will shoot up. So now if we try to increase the recall, due to the precision recall trade-off, our model will now wrongly predict many happy customers to leave. So it would be an unnecessarily extra cost for the bank to offer perks to already satisfied customers, don't you think? Because if you try to increase recall from the precision recall trade-off, the precision will decrease, and if the precision decreases, then that would mean the number of false positive will increases, and if the number of false positive increases, then that would mean there will be many people who are actually not going to leave the bank, but they are falsely being predicted to be of the positive class. Because if we look at this precision recall trade-off slide, which we talked about in the previous lecture, if we try to increase the recall value, for example, for increasing the recall value, we would have to reduce the threshold value. So when we try to increase the recall value, then if you look for the false positive cases, here we had 0 false positives and here we have 393 false positives. so the number of false positives has also increased a lot. Hence, precision and recall, and consequently also F-score, they are not ideal measures for our case, or in general for any case where a model needs to be good at predicting both classes fairly well. So to summarize, we should avoid precision, recall and F measures when dealing with cases which require predictions of both classes to be equally well. Now imagine we are predicting apples and oranges from the images. Now would we want a classifier that only predicts apples very well or oranges very well, or would we like to build a model that predicts both apples and oranges very well? Well, definitely we would ideally want a model that predicts both apples and oranges very well, and in that case the F-score and the precision recall are not ideal measures. Well, they are useful when dealing with cases which do not require the predictions of both classes to be equally well, like in the case of information retrieval where the number of true negatives did not really matter. So I hope now you have a clear understanding of when to use the precision recall and F measures and when not to use the precision recall and F measures. Now there are a host of other measures which are better than these precision recall and F measures when dealing with imbalanced datasets, and also which take into account the number of true negatives, which we will be looking at in the next few videos. So stay tuned for that. So thank you for watching.